Antony's defiance. He's not leaving Manchester United. He wants to fight for his place. Where have we heard that before? Two wingers that all Manchester United fans thought would be out of the football club. Well, three you could add with Greenwood, but adding Antony to the Jadon Sancho and Greenwood category. Sancho, we've got an update on him as well and what's happening there. Juventus' plan, there's a new plan in place that Juventus have now able to take Sancho away from United. So if the decision needs to be made, which way will United go? We'll discuss both sides on that. What's happening with Antony, what's been said by his agent, what's been said by Ten Hag, everything that's accumulated around that as well. The midfielder situation has gone stale because United have now said that they are not going to trigger the buy-on clause for Sofyan Amrabat. So what happens from there? Apparently Manchester United, according to a few sources this afternoon, are favourites to sign Rabiot now. The plot thickens continuously with Manchester United in this transfer window. It's never a dull day. There isn't. It's Sunday evening, not Saturday evening. Let's get this weekend over with. It's been a mental one. And this is it, guys. Get your comments in. Let me know what you think regarding all subjects. Amrabat, Sancho, Antony, everything else that we talk about. Want your input on this as well. Make sure you give the video a like. I'm going to give you the easy target of giving me another 600 likes on this video. Dead simple, straightforward. We always get it on the evening show. It's up to you guys to make it happen again. You can go past it if you want. And obviously, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are creeping slowly to that 50,000 mark. Make it happen, guys. If you want to know everything that's going on with Manchester United, this is the place to be. We've got you covered. Full details tonight on all stories that are breaking. Let's get into Antony first of all and what is happening with the Brazilian winger. The once touted next best thing. Silky skills we were promised. A different style of Brazilian forward. Looked like the next best thing playing for Ajax. Comes to United as an okay season at Manchester United. And then last season, complete and utter fall off. Now, let's be fair to him to start off. Antony wasn't the only one which fell off a cliff last season. I mean, there was not much to pick between him and Rashford. There were times last season when I would say I want Antony ahead of Rashford. I still want Antony ahead of Rashford, but I still think Antony is a flop. That tells you exactly what I thought of Marcus Rashford's season last season as well. We're not even getting into Jadon Sancho. We will do, but not yet. We've got to start with Antony. The other day, I was in London. I was talking about Antony and Manchester United, hoping to loan him out. Well, his agent has come out today and said exactly this, according to Fabrizio Romano. Antony's agent, Junior Pedroso, replies to reports about exit on loan this summer regarding his client Antony. I see reports about potential exit on loan. Antony's plan is clear. Manchester United, he wants to stay. He's only focused on United. We already spoke about that with the club. Whether United wanted to move him on or not, I said this the other day regarding Antony, the issue that we would have in moving him on. No one, even if you get a free transfer for him, even if you get him gone on loan, someone can get him for nothing with no loan fee even. Excuse me again. Manchester United are going to struggle for anyone to come in and pay his wages because United want all of these wages covered. And then a load of stories circulated after that one, and everyone was talking about Antony. He's on 70 grand a week. Poo-poo that right out. 200 grand a week. That's Antony's wages. That's what he's always been on. I don't know why anyone is actually bigging it up like it's less or anything like that. He's not on that little money at Manchester United. Definitely not. So, where we're at with Antony is that his agent has said, and Antony has said, he wants to stay. It's like that line from Wolf of Wall Street, isn't it, in a moment? I'm not fucking leaving. That's it. It's like, oh, for God's sake. Except when they were all cheering in the movie about him staying, Manchester United fans and Manchester United team, probably the staff were like, oh, God, jeez, really? Oh, I tell you what a parting gift that was from Mrs Murto and Arnold for Manchester United. I think he will be the last bit of the nightmare to actually be fleeced out of this football club. Gone. I think that's what he is right now. Antony was a complete and utter waste of money. I'm going to put it down there. I give him a chance first season. I said, you've got to give this guy credit. He scored a few goals. I think he got near 10 goals in his first season. He scored some big goals as well for Manchester United. So I gave him the chance last season. Well, completely fallen off. Whether you want to blame Ten Hag for that, for not playing him, or give him a chance, or actually is where he was in the pecking order with Marcus Rashford and other players. Did he deserve to be higher than Rashford? He had a good game against Newport. Obviously, it was just Newport. But still, he had his best game. Ten Hag bigged him up, and then straight away, Golden Boy came back in. Marcus Rashford took his place, and I think Antony just seen the end of it from there. Reports of him walking off and storming off the training ground after he wasn't picked for the final team against Manchester City in the FA Cup. It's been a bit of a nightmare season for him. It really has, and he has been a waste of money for what Manchester United are spending this summer comparing to what we paid for Antony. If we spent 80 million on a player this summer, we'd be getting an absolute will beater going off the way that Ineos are operating right now at Manchester United. So let's be honest, like, Ten Hag needed someone at the time. Murto knew that Ten Hag wanted Antony. I was interested in Antony early in the window. Didn't make it happen. It isn't Ten Hag's fault that Antony came in for that amount of money, but he likes Antony. He said, and let's get up what Ten Hag has said about Antony, because he's backed him as well. I'm just going to get up what he's been saying about Antony, which was, Ten Hag is convinced that Antony can still thrive at Manchester United despite a disappointing season for the Brazilian. Antony's agent has confirmed the player is not ready to fight. He's ready to fight for his place at Old Trafford, and he's not looking for a move away from the club this summer. That could be good news for Ten Hag, who backed the winger in an interview with AD via the Daily Mail this week. And he did. I remember listening to these quotes. I am still convinced that Antony has the potential to play at this club. He said, that's what Ten Hag said, he certainly showed that potential in the first month. He scored 3 times in his first 3 games. Antony, after that, it became more difficult. Last season was not good. A month. That's what we've had out of him, according to Ten Hag on that one. But he still believes he has got a place in this team. That's worrying alone, because nobody else does think that. Everybody else thinks that Antony isn't good enough. I think it's quite clear nobody thinks Antony is good enough for Manchester United. Everybody can see it in performances. Everybody can see it in his end product. Everybody in the Premier League, opposition-wise, has figured him out. And Antony is just stuck. No one's going to buy a player that turns up in the odd game here and there, has moments of brilliant, good finishes. Antony scores good goals. He scored very important goals as well. Remember the first season he did? I'll still remember the goal he scored against Barcelona. It was a vital goal. The one he scored against Arsenal on his debut. He has scored some absolute beauties as well in big moments, in big games. I mean, he's got the equaliser against Liverpool as well this season. He's scored a couple of decent goals. And do you know what? It's a shame that it didn't work out for him, and I don't think it is going to work out for him because he's so far down the pecking order. He's got too many players in front of him. And if Jadon Sancho ends up staying at Manchester United, then we have got a big issue with Antony. Well, he has got a big issue anyway, because he's not going to get into this bleeding side. So, yeah, looking at Antony and the situation we're in with him, he's definitely a player that, for me, needs to be looking away or trying to make a move away from Manchester United. Otherwise, he's going to be one of them players that just gets tarnished with that brush again. He's just a gold digger. He's just there for the money. He's another mercenary. Doesn't want to leave because he's on great money from what Murto and co gave him when he first arrived at the football club. Whether or not he can turn around that shocking season, he's on a list of quite a few United players who needs to turn around a shocking season from last time out. Because it was shit from most Man United players last season. It was. But, yeah, Antony, you guys let me know if you like him or not. Get in your comments now, please, everybody. We're going to move on to Jadon Sancho and what's happening with him, though, as well. Because there is more on Jadon Sancho, which is a new plan from Juventus. So, it was thought that Ten Hag was going to keep Jadon Sancho. We've spoken about it on a couple of videos recently as well. Well, today, after movement in the transfer market for Juventus, there is now a possibility that they can come back in for Jadon Sancho, who, according to reports in Italy, and I think it was France at the time, said is the Italian Giants' top target, Jadon Sancho. And here's the story that comes from Caught Offside, which says, Italian Giants Juventus plan on using money made from the sale of Matthias Sule to make a move for Jadon Sancho. According to reports, Caught Offside claim that the old lady have received 21 million for Sule from Leicester City and are ready to accept an offer. They will then use that income to try and sign Jadon Sancho. See, they were talking about trying to move on Chiesa, weren't they, as well, and struggling with that. I'll just read on quickly. There has been contrasting reports over the sale of Soleil, while court offside claims that personal terms have been agreed between the player and Leicester, who is keen on a move and has rejected other clubs. Reports in Italy claim that he is instead keen on a move to Serie A side Roma. Well, that's not the case apparently, and well, no matter, we're not bothered where that player goes. We're not bothered how much money Juventus make, as long as it's enough money to take Jadon Sancho, because I'm still in the thinking that Jadon Sancho should be moved on from Manchester United. I think it's best for all parties involved that Jadon Sancho is shifted on. So yeah, I like the sound of that story coming out. Jadon Sancho, Antony, still with Jadon Sancho going, if it does happen, I still think Antony's going to be restricted to game time. I really do. I don't see him getting games. I can see him coming in the odd occasion, but I'm thinking, like we said the other day, like you've got, for instance, you've got Amad and Garnacho, you've got Xerxes, you've got Rashford, all can play the wide areas. If United go and do get Xavi Simons, which is a possibility, that deal can happen because it's a loan deal. Whether or not we bring Agati or not, it's been made clear that PSG are not putting both together, so we can get Simons. If Simons comes in, that's Antony done. He ain't getting in that side. Simons plays right across the front line. We know that Xerxes does as well. Rashford, Garnacho, Amad in there. I mean, seriously, he doesn't stand a chance, Antony. Sancho, if he leaves, half a chance possibly, but I think Sancho definitely needs to go. I think Antony probably won't go because no one's stupid enough to buy him. And no one's stupid enough to pay his wages. Maybe Antony will be one of them players that ends up being just fizzled out and ends up going next summer or something like that. We will take a monumental loss. I always talk about football business when it comes to players leaving. Like, he's halfway through his contract and then you sell him for a certain price. It's not so much of a loss. Everyone always compares transfer fees to when players were originally bought. And years down the line, they don't calculate in what that player was brought to the club. Antony hasn't brought a lot to Manchester United, and it will be a pretty embarrassing loss for the Reds when it comes to letting Antony go. I'm pretty certain of that, because he doesn't offer much else. He gives you everything he's got. I'll give him that credit. But at the end of the day, we're looking at Antony's end product and what he brings up front. I appreciate the work rate. I appreciate him getting back, helping his defenders out, which he does do. He's a battler. He won't be pushed off the ball. He'll fight for everything that he can get. But you need more. You need more, and he just doesn't have it, does he? He doesn't. He's not going to find this next level of performance over another season at Manchester United. It's not there. He just hasn't got it naturally. So let's look at it with the reality caps on again. He could possibly come in the odd game in a Carabao Cup, end of the Europa League, stuff like this, but really, I would have preferred like younger players getting the chance. That's it. So I'll see what happens through there. Let's get into your comments on what you think of the Antony and Sancho situation, as reports have come out today on this one. The hype about Sancho is crazy. I see British people getting all worked up about Sancho in a pre-season game. What the hell is wrong with these people? Craig still wants him out, it would seem then. Let's see what else. I'll give Antony credit for always tracking back, says Cornish Maids, like I just said there. You got Roz says, would you be happy with 20 million to just clear the guy off the books? I'd take 10 million and clear him off the books. That's how desperate I am, like, for getting players out. I'm just sick of players clinging around, clinging on to Manchester United. Like, the wages is the biggest thing. Get him out, get him gone. Let's get someone else in that position. Just take the loss. Start over again. If anything, we don't need another player to replace him right now. We've got enough there already. We could really just use that money to invest in an area of the pitch that we desperately need a player in, like centre-back, like centre midfield. That's where United need to be putting the money in. So, yeah, I think I would take 10 million for Antony and just say bye-bye. He's a bigger flop, or could go down as a bigger flop if he stays at Man United, as Donny van der Beek. And Antony has done bits for his club, a hell of a lot more than Donny van der Beek. I think it's embarrassing to put him in that category, but he's going to become the forgotten man. He's not going to break into this team. I'll say that now. Honestly, if he proves me wrong, I'll be the happiest Man United losing fan in this conversation, but I just don't see it in him. Adam, any news in the Martin? I am hearing things, as in Obi Martin. Is that what you're talking about, Nathan? Just get another comment in there. I think that's where you're going with that, but just so I know where you're going with it. Antony's shite, but he's only young still. He might be one of those who goes in the next summer or in January. True. I think next summer for Antony, realistically. Hi, Adam. In no way is Antony good enough for Manchester United in every aspect. He is so far down the pecking order, and in the end, he will lose so much money on him. We will lose so much money on him. Very poor attitude as well. His time is up. Agree with that. 20 million is perfect. It's his wages. That's the issue. 10 million for Maguire would be amazing. It's his wages, says Nathan. See, Craig says, I heard earlier the club keeping McTominay is the biggest problem at the club. He's not good enough and has not raised his game. I'm going to talk about McTominay next, actually, and what's been said today on that one. Let's see what else we've got in here. Chat-wise, guys, keep them comments coming in. You don't know what's in Ten Hag's plans, but only Ahmad is left-footed. Doesn't matter. Like, Ten Hag plays inverted wingers, so yeah, it's down to Ten Hag again, isn't it? And how he plays it, but I just don't think Antony's got the quality in the final third. So yeah, I would love to see Antony play on the left. I would have loved to have seen what Antony could have done on the left, but Ten Hag is not going to change. He's not going to change his way now, is he? Let's see what else we've got in the chat here on this one. I'll quickly get through as many as I can before we move on. Perhaps the off-field stuff with Antony affected his game and mental focus last season. His best game for me last season was against Chelsea with that amazing assist. I would love to see more of that. Yeah, he did have a good game at Stamford Bridge, actually. But again, it's very, very sparing moments, isn't it, with him? He's not consistent enough, and United cannot rely on that. That's the problem we've got. It's like everyone will cling on to a certain game or go back and say, that's what I was telling you about. That's why we keep this guy. Look at this one performance. All right, yeah, I'll just forget about the other 20 games there. He was absolutely shitting. And just go with that one game, and that's how United move forward. That's the old mentality. Nathan meant Zubimendi. Any updates on him? Zubimendi, we're going to move to the midfielders next, guys, now, actually. In fact, we'll go into that because Ten Hag has been talking about Scott McTominay. Obviously, we know Manchester United need to move players on. And he's come out today saying how important Scott McTominay is, how he sees him at the football club. In fact, let's get this quote up because we know that United need to sell to bring in midfielders. Let's just get up what Ten Hag has been saying because I've got a bit to say on the midfielders at the moment. There's quite a few bits of news regarding all of Manchester United's midfield and possible targets as well. Ten Hag wants to keep Scott McTominay in his squad for next season after Manchester United rejected early bids for the midfielder during this window. It is understood bids have already been turned down for him, but he has just a year left on his existing contract, although United have an option to extend it by a year. Having been open to selling Scott McTominay a year ago, Ten Hag now wants to keep him, and the Scot will be part of the squad that will travel to Los Angeles on Wednesday for the start of the club's pre-season tour. Right, so that basically is a manager, in my opinion, saying exactly what he needs to say. Manchester United haven't triggered Sofyan Amrabat's contract. They're not going for it. We know this. That's put in place now. So obviously we need as many midfielders as we can get. Mason Mount has been talked about as well recently. He's claimed that 3 Premier League clubs have been in for him. Villa, Tottenham and Newcastle. Keeping an eye on the situation. Bollocks. I'm sorry, no. Not one season after he was signed. United need all the midfielders we can get right now. Obviously, we've just been talking about Sofyan Amrabat and everything like that. But still, we also have to look at what we've got right now. Unless we get concrete information about another midfield target coming in, Scott McTominay obviously has to stay. So if we are going to move forward with a deal, if we are going to move forward with, let's say, for instance, Agate, we have got an update on Agate coming up right now as well, guys. So actually, I'll just read this now. TalkSports understands talks between United and Paris Saint-Germain over a deal for Manuel Agate are progressing well. According to TalkSport's Anika Dola, the player is said to have agreed personal terms over a move, and all that is remaining in an agreement on a transfer fee between the two clubs. All that's remaining. Yeah, just the most important bit, like agreeing on a fee. Yeah, we knew this already. So in terms of that update on Agate, that's exactly why Manchester United are holding on to Scott McTominay at the moment. It's as simple as that. We can't afford to let him go if we are not bringing in replacements. We've lost one midfielder from last season already in Sancho and Rabiot. We're down in that area. We need another 2 midfielders if Scott McTominay is to be let go. Some would argue, were we not short in that area with everyone we had last season? Therefore, if we are going to lose Scott McTominay and Sancho and Amrabat, we need 3 midfielders in this summer. Maybe one of them you could look at being a Collier from the academy. Yes, I get that. I thought we might have gone in with a cheaper option for Amrabat, but it does look like Manchester United are saving as many pennies as possible to get a new midfielder in, and which looks like Agate. That does. We've got a new member in the house. First of all, Michael, welcome to the Members Club, gifted by the Honest Tiger. And another gifted membership, which has just gone in by Tom, and that's gone to Novich09. Thank you again, guys, for donating their memberships. And, guys, if you have just been donated that membership, make sure you thank the guys in the chat as well. Please give the video a like, guys. We're over the 150 mark. Let's get them numbers up, everybody. Make sure that you are hitting the subscribe button as well. I know it's a later show. We do usually go at 6:30, but I had some commitments on this afternoon. It's been one of them crazy weekends. It really has, which has just sent the schedule completely out. I do appreciate you all still tuning in to the shows as well. We have got normal schedule going through the week from this point now, guys. So back to normal tomorrow from 8 o'clock as well. So yeah, Zubimendi on the midfielder one, like Nathan was just asking there in terms of updates. We know that Zubimendi has a price, a buyout, 50 million. Honestly, if it's 50 million, then Manchester United need to be looking. They need to be looking, and they need to be taking that seriously, in my opinion. If we're going to be up close to where PSG want with Agate, like, the only reason you get Agate above Zubimendi is if Agate is cheaper. And at the moment, Manchester United are holding that, and are holding that valuation. It's going to be around about the £38 million mark that we want to pay. And just over 40 million, then you're going with Agate with what money's available for Manchester United right now. Let's get your comments on the midfield situation right now. Because, actually, just before I do, there is another story regarding Manchester United, possible midfielder situations. And that is from, yes, there his name is again, our curly-haired ponytail, Mr Adam Rabiot. Manchester United are reportedly in talks with Adrian Rabiot, with the player keen on completing a move to Old Trafford. Caught offside claim the player's agents are in talks with United, as well as Barcelona, Real Madrid, Spurs, Arsenal and Liverpool. Okay, far-fetched a bit, I don't know, but still, like, anyone who's anyone, let's just put all the names in the hat and say that that's who we're talking to. Just the best of the Premier League and La Liga, that's all. Okay, you've been to the best in Serie A. You are now looking at the best in La Liga and the Premier League because you are that good. Sorry, no, not for me, not that good anyway. The 29-year-old is said to want to play in the Premier League with United leading the way. Erik ten Hag is reported to be open to the move. We've heard that before as well. What do you reckon, guys? Get into the comment section. You got Ross. He had an awful off-season before last season, talking about Antony. He might bounce back this year if we can focus on football more. Yes, it's just a hope. Into again, like, seriously, we don't want to be relying on hope. We don't want to be relying on simple sort of, like, he has got these moments in him, like I said before, single games. It needs to be more. Happy to see Mount, Eriksen, Scott and even Casemiro moved on if we can bring in Agate and Zubimendi. I think that's a lot of players to let go and bring 2 in. I'm not taking anything away from the quality of Agate and Zubimendi, but to lose, 4 and then bring 2 players in midfield, that is not going to happen, I'm afraid. It isn't. And yes, you can say like I did, then I bring Collier in and say that that's another 3rd one in the bag then. Still not having it, guys. Not having it. Mount going to be a massive player this season. Honestly, mate, Macmillan, he needs a huge season. He's one of them players that is going to be right under the spotlight this season. By Zubimendi, he's a class player. Keen's in with a super chat. Cheer for that, Keeno. Do you think Collier breaks into the squad this season? I just said it then, mate. I think he breaks into the squad this season, definitely. Fabrizio Romano has just come out talking about Diallo as well. Diallo is expected to be an important player for Manchester United this season. A new contract will be a topic in the coming months as he is coming to the end of his deal as well. So a good season for him. We heard what Eric Ten Hag said yesterday regarding Ahmad in sort of laying down the gauntlet for him. He set the challenge up for him, and I think if he does perform this season, then he is going to be getting that new deal, which he probably deserves, because he is literally in the bottom 4 paid players in that first team squad at Manchester United right now. So yeah, you would expect improved terms to come in for Amad Diallo. That's a must, isn't it? Especially if he carries on the way he finished last season, the way he started this pre-season as well. Almost at 200 likes. Keep them coming in, guys. Babs says, no to Rabiot and his silly mother. Babs has spoken, people. Rabiot, stay away from Manchester United. That is it. Everyone listens to Babs. We've got to do it. Rabiot is a no-go. Really hope we go nowhere near Rabiot. Looks rigid and clunky in the Euros, plus his wages. No thanks, says the Muppet Show. Rabiot is... I've lost that comment there. That was from Nathan. I'll come back to it in a minute if I can. Let's get down to some new ones here. Mount going to be a big player for me this season. And Agenda FC going to have a moan and a cry, says Macmillan. People who don't like Mason Mount is simply because he wasn't reliable enough last season. I don't think anyone really doubts his quality as a player. I think he's an excellent player. I still don't think we needed to buy him last season. I thought it was a buy that could have been used elsewhere, what we really needed in a position on the pitch. But yes, Graham says, I think he's definitely making all the squads. Toby Collier, I would be surprised if he didn't. He played well yesterday. Graham was at the game as well for us yesterday, talking about who was good, who was performing, who stood out for him. No need Rabiot, toxic. Go for younger players, says Antony ONG, who has just renewed his membership. 27 months a member, legend from the start. Collier not ready though. People need to stop over push these young British players. We're not saying that, Craig. Collier can come in the squad. That's all we're saying. Worst case scenario, he's desperately thrown in when we're on masses and masses of injuries again. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but he can integrate in and be a squad player and come on in games, get experience, playing games that are not as important. We have got enough games to bring in players like Collier, I think, this season, and I think it's important that we use seasons like this to actually give these younger players the opportunity. Rest some of the older players. That is also massively important. I'm willing to eat humble pie, but Mount waste was a waste of 50 million. I hope you do eat humble pie. I know what you're saying, no, and there's so many angles you can go in on the waste of money side of things as well. I agree with Babs. Rabiot is a nightmare, along with his mother. Rabiot has always wanted huge wages. We have not taken him in the past because of this. That's very true as well. We have had opportunities to bring him in before and not brought him in. And let's see what else we've got in here quickly. Veronica Rabiot is as chatty as Mino Raiola was in a season as well as out of season. Rabiot is after big wages. Let him go Liverpool, guys. Let them have him. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be sort of like pretending like we're in for him to make Liverpool think that they desperately need to bring in a player and go and get Rabiot. Adam, love Mount, but in all reality, if Ineos was in charge when he was bought, he wouldn't be here. No, we wouldn't have even been looking at him because we did not need him. We needed a player like Declan Rice more, or playing holding midfield role. That's what we needed. More of an 8 player. Amrabat played some very good. Amrabat played some very good, some very bad games. The very bad ones that made up Ineos' mind, says Alan. It looked like he didn't perform miracles last season for us. He had a good finish to the season, and everyone just thought, you know what, I would have loved to have seen him play a few more games. And this is why there's been a clamour for Rabiot to come back into the side. I think that is exactly it and where we're at right now with it. Not Rabiot, but Eden Amrabat. I must keep saying Rabiot, for God's sake. Yeah, stupid. But it is, for Manchester United now, just important to, I think, Sancho, if Juventus can go in for Sancho, like we were just talking then, and they want to take him, then we need to push Sancho out. I would prefer him, like I said, if he wants to completely go back to basics, start his United career over again, put the work in, turn it around, then let's see what you've got, Jadon. Let's see what you've got. If Ten Hag's happy with it, we have to be happy with it as fans. This is the way it goes. Yeah, we can moan about it after the game if it looks like a stupid decision, but if Ten Hag thinks he can use him, then Ten Hag thinks he can use him. But honestly, if you're asking me, I would say definitely move Jadon Sancho on. I think it works best for all, wage structure-wise as well. Another big chunk of wages gone. And it just gives more room, and I think it gives a bit more freedom to the likes of Ahmad. Because let's be honest, Ahmad can play on both sides. He can play in the middle as well. He's going to get plenty of game time, I think, this season, Ahmad. And if there isn't a Jadon Sancho who is kicking off to try and get in the side, then Ahmad gets more game time. This is the same reason why I would love to see the end of Antony. So, yeah, I just want the players that deserve the chance to be given the chance this season. Ahmad is top of that list. I think Ten Hag was forced to say something good about Ahmad yesterday. It was impossible for him to even pick bones out of it. I understood what Ten Hag was saying yesterday, and like, you know what, he needs to make it this season. He more than needs to make it this season. He has to make this season his own. Take it by the scruff of the neck, and he is going to get them opportunities to do so, and it's down to him to perform in them games. There's going to be bad performances as well. And it's how we bounce back from them, because he did it a couple of times when he played last season. He came on against Forest, I think, and he wasn't that great. He then came back into it, had a couple more good games. Obviously, we had the worldie of a performance as he came on off the bench for Liverpool, but I still remember it's simple little games that people won't remember, like the semi-final against Coventry when he came on and he was just dominating the extra time. He was literally running the show. It was the one bit of quality that we had in that side that day, and that was just him coming off the bench. Everyone else who had a full 90 minutes to play was absolutely shite, apart from Harry Maguire, I would say, in that Coventry game. Yes, Sancho can clear off anywhere. Rashford will sulk, though. I don't think you're bothered about either one of them, Babs. Sancho is a complete waste of space. Get rid, says Leo. Stu says, Louise, I totally get that. Yeah, he shouldn't have got it, but it is what it is now, and I won't use it against him. United, little limited to be unfair. I don't know what that means. People having conversations. Keep them conversations going, guys. Get communicating. This is what it's about on this channel. It's about the community. It's about starting up them conversations, about us fans having our say on news that's coming out within the media and our football club. What do we think? We're the important voices. We're the ones that spend our hard-earned money on watching Manchester United. So we're the ones that should have the biggest voice. And I want you guys to be talking about it in the chat and having your own little conversations in there as well. That's what I love about it here on FUTV. What is your depth chart at winger? I'm not sure what that means. I start Garnacho and Ahmad and let the rest earn it. As in, right, okay, so what is your start? So you're thinking Ahmad one side, Garnacho the other, Zirkzee and Højlund. Like, everybody's saying that Zirkzee come... not everybody, sorry. I've seen a lot of people doing like their opening 11s for the start of the season, and they've got Zirkzee ahead of Rasmus Højlund. I don't think that'll be the case. I think Rasmus Højlund will start for Ten Hag. I think Zirkzee will be just integrated into the team steadily and slowly, as it should be, I feel. Number one is Rasmus Højlund. He is our number 9, and he should start the season. He had an alright season last season. He would have learnt a lot at the Euros because it was a tough old slog for him. And hopefully this season, second season syndrome kicking in, he goes down the road of improving rather than falling off. We've seen a lot fall off after the first season. Hopefully Rasmus can go the other way and just steadily improve. 16 goals is good, very good. Hopefully we go to excellent and he gets over 20 next season and just keeps improving. We need someone like that to be improving steadily. along instead of just having like a one mega season and then dropping off. We've got plenty of them players in the team already. We've been talking about a few of them in the show tonight. So, yeah, we don't need any more of them. We need players that are just going to actually slowly progress as well. And that's why I think we're bringing in these younger players in the window, because they've got time. Xerxes fits what Ten Hag always gravitated towards at Ajax and even at United with Martial and Weghorst. Højlund will be benched, says Ross. I'm not too sure. I'm not convinced yet. I get what you're saying. Totally get what you're saying there. And to be honest, I feel like, yes, where you're coming from. With Ajax, he had the Haller role there as well. He liked it. I can see more of Xerxes in him there. Xerxes does work a little bit deeper than what Rasmus Højlund does. It depends how he wants to play. Is he going to be sticking to his guns and going down this Ajax type of football and trying to change Manchester United? Or is he going to adapt it and try and do something different? That's what we need to know and see. If Wan-Bissaka goes, can we get Frimpong to replace Wan-Bissaka? I think if Wan-Bissaka goes, I think United need to be looking at a centre-back first. And I think that will be De Ligt. Any midfielders go, or any forward players go for Manchester United. And in that, obviously, well, we're holding on to Scott. I'm not going to put him in that category. I'm going to say, if we sell Palestra, if we sell Hannibal, if we move them two players on, maybe even Eriksson, then I think that is the money that's going to go towards funding Agate's move. But if Wan-Bissaka goes, the likes of Lindelof go, I think it'll be areas earning money to bring in players for that area. So, defenders being sold, De Ligt comes in. Midfielders and attackers being sold, because we've already got an abundance of forwards now. I think it would be the midfield coming in there. Just to not round up, but just to go over everything that we've spoken about earlier on. Antony is defiant in his words, does not want to leave Manchester United. He wants to stay for his fight for his place in the side. His agent has come out saying that he's heard about possible Manchester United wanting to move Antony on, even loaning him out. He's not going anywhere. He says he wants to fight for his place in the side. So we'll see what happens from there. Jadon Sancho is, as we always knew, an option for Juventus, but with them selling Sule to Leicester, it would seem, or even Roma, wherever that player goes, they're looking to bring in a bit of money for him. And that is then going to be put aside, apparently, according to reports from Italy, to bring in Jadon Sancho in. Now, we said all along that Jadon Sancho is going to be a long game sort of out for Manchester United, I feel. They're just going to see how it goes, try and keep things calm and bringing him back in and take it from there with Jadon Sancho. I think that's where the club is at with that one. But still, give it time, let United work on it, and let's see. But in terms of Amrabat to Manchester United, I've said no, we are not bringing him back. Does he now go away? Is that a convincer for Amrabat to go and find another suitor or go back to Fiorentina? Or will he still have these aspirations of coming to Manchester United? Can he still see this deal happening? Can anyone look at it and say it's not going to happen? I don't think we can, because yes, this deal has passed and the 20 million euros cheap price buyout from that loan deal or option to buy is gone, and United have said no. They could always go back and offer less for Amrabat and come back in for him at the end of the window. It is not dead in the water yet, this one. So let's just see how we go with that, and then we'll carry on from there and see what happens later down the window. I think, again, another slow burner and not massively important to United. It does look like the main deals that we're going to be looking at this week are top of the tree. I would probably say Agate and McTominay, as in ins and outs. Defender-wise, I think it'll be Wan-Bissaka and De Ligt on that side. They'll be your top stories. And anything else, Obi Martin, the young whiz kid from Arsenal, we're going to get updates on him as well coming soon. And I feel like that's going to be the next big announcement. You could say it's big. It is really, when you get one of the best academy players around in England at the moment and bring him to your academy because he doesn't want to stay on at Arsenal. I think that is still quite big news. But yeah, that pretty much is your full update of what's happened today. Sunday 21st, guys. Pre-season well underway, 2 games in the bag. United performed better yesterday against Rangers. Good performances. Every single player at Manchester United is fit. Even Malacia is coming back. We could have a big week in terms of outgoings and possible incomings. Let's just see. And yes, if players do go out on this tour, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to be part of the team next season. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It's a load of shit. Players get sold while they're on tour. players go out on tour just so other clubs looking at them can think, yes, they have got something. It puts them in the transfer window, in the actual window itself, as a player to buy. So, yeah, let's not be put off by the fact that certain players we think are going out on tour. Deals can still get done. So that's what happens in football. Great show, great updates, great presentation, Adam. Night, everybody. Thank you, everyone. Cheers for that, Babs. Contributors, super chats, members, thank you. Legends, everyone in the chat, fantastic. Get your comments in below on the show, guys. We are done for the week. That's another one out of the way. A crazy one it was as well. What a week. And this week, it's only going to get busier with the tour starting over in the States. Manchester United playing more games, more players coming back from international duty, and hopefully updates on transfers in and out. Guys, 50k is the mark. We're going to get it this week. 50,000 subscribers. We are literally, 250 away. Get subscribing if you are tuning in for the first time. Please give the video a like. And I will see you at 8 o'clock in the morning for your updates. And we go from there for another week, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic evening. And, yeah, sleep well. Let's see what this fresh week for United brings. See you later, everyone.